I want to transition to top lane. I know you advocate splitting all the time and be away from the team. Could I pay for coaching to be coached with more team-oriented style? I mean, yeah, I mean, you can group, but the idea is you don't group unless you need to group, unless it makes feasible sense to group in solo queue. So yes and no. Like, I don't know what to tell you. There's no world as a top. Like, okay. Since we're on the topic, fuck it. This is a good... And I will get to your coaching here, because we back. The coaching is back, okay? It's price got bumped up, but you know what? I was getting a lot of coaching, and I don't want to burn out, and also I want to have more time to play, too. And that's part of the price up. We'll revisit this depending on how good or bad the coaching does. And so now, it's time to talk about the preseason in its entirety, okay? So, let's talk about the different roles in the preseason, okay? So let's talk about my assessment on top lane right now, okay? My assessment on top lane for optimal solo queue I think that strong picks are like Jace, Rumble, Kennen, Swain. That's what I think are strong picks. Cannot go wrong with these picks. You cannot in solo queue go wrong with these picks. Now, that said, these picks are all hard as fuck to carry with. They are. I don't care what anybody tells you. Yes, they're bullies, but it's the key you need to understand with these types of picks. Yes, they are bullies. Yes, they beat like every fucking lane and they turn every lane into a skill. Oh, also, Pantheon was the other one. Thank you. They turn every lane into a skill lane. And yes, they bully everything. But regardless of how good these picks are, and that's why I'm putting them as strong picks, we'll just say, we'll do it tier list style, okay? So there you go. Or S. We'll just say S. I'm going to do S. What's it? S, A, B, and shit. Right? That's pretty much how that goes. So, they're strong picks for solo queue. Alright? But, just because they are strong, and you win lane by like a little bit of CS, does not mean that you are fulfilling your duty. So, they're good, and they will win. You will be able to win lanes with them, but you need to know how to lane, and you need to know what you do with a lead. Now, spoiler alert, as of right now, and this could change, as of right now, fighters are kind of whack. Okay? Fighters are a little whack, in my opinion. The Camille, well, Camille's actually not that bad. The Jaxes, the Fioras, the just champions, the Renekton's, champions that brawl don't feel too great right now. Some of them can use press the attack, and this might change a little bit. But that's just been my read. I feel like fighters show up, they're kind of disappointing. You know, I would even put something like Jarvan up there. Now, for A tier, and this is where oh, yes, and Ornn's a great one, a great example. A tier. You're going to notice that for my A tier, most of my shit is going to be tanks, okay? I disagree with pros in terms of a tier list, because I think that pros sometimes, and I remember when Wicked, and I'm going to cover all these lanes this morning, okay? Which I know it'll take a little bit of time, but it's worth it because I haven't put out much informative stuff on my streams. I've just been kind of mindlessly grinding, so I think it's time to speak a little bit. I disagree with the pros. What Wicked brought in, those guys are great. They know top lane better than I ever will. But I strongly disagree with them on rating tanks too high in a solo queue environment. In competitive, yes, but they're not making... See, when people make tier lists, I don't know what the fuck they're making a tier list for if it's not for solo queue. No one that watches a tier list is playing competitive, right? You correct me if I'm wrong. Like, no one. The guys that are playing competitive, they know what the fuck is broken and not broken. Okay? That's my belief. But anyways, they had a tendency... I remember they had a tendency to place a lot of picks. A lot of tank picks towards the top end of the spectrum. They made tanks a very popular, or like a S plus type of pick, right? They said Maokai, they said Ornn, they said Cho'Gath, I think, maybe. I don't know. But all those champs in my mind... Or Sejuani, whoops. Ornn. Now, I would put... Yeah, Shen was a great one, yep. I would put these on a pretty high tier, but I'm never putting them up here. Here's the reality. Tank picks do not punish weak laners hard enough in solo queue, okay? They don't. Tank picks do not punish. I'm also going to put Gangplank here. Because Gangplank beats these guys, but gets shit on by these guys. Do you understand? Cyan's another good one, thank you. Okay? Now, this tier list, by the way, is not gonna cover every champ, every possible pick top. But I want to put it in a way so you guys can understand. Okay? Sure, you can go ahead and play your Gangplank just like I can, right? I could play it into these matchups, but if I play Gangplank into these guys, I'm on the back foot. Right? But Gangplank plays amazingly into these champions. Except maybe Ornn. Ornn is broken in a way. Honestly, Ornn might be even worth bumping up a little bit, just because I think he's really broken right now. But I don't think this lasts. I don't think this lasts, so I don't know. Maybe just put him between the two, because he's not gonna last very long. In terms of like soon to be a... There we go. And then, so that's my general idea on like this whole top lane flow right now for solo queue. Obviously there's stuff like Akali, and by the way, just to back up my point, talking about how I don't think those guys that he brought in necessarily have a good grasp. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying that they overvalue competitive when that's not the target audience. Target audience are people that want to carry in solo queue. That's it. So the reason I point this out is because if you look at someone like TF Blade, Akali carries him to rank 1. Same with like Aurelia. So the idea that these like carry champs aren't S tier, I don't really buy into that. They rated Pantheon pretty low. I remember Talon showed up in the video. I don't like Heimer that much because he's exposed to ganks way too often, and he doesn't really have a way to play into them. Like, if you're, but I mean, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. If I had to put him somewhere right now, it would be probably like A or B. So that's all I'm pointing out. Is I'm pointing out that not everything has to be like competitive bias or whatever. So I put like Aurelia Jax down here for now. All this can change. these picks are substantially more weak than they're used to being. The counter... Oh, yeah. Teemo should be, like, somewhere around here, to be honest. He's still kind of easy to... But he's easy to gank, but he plays alright. Actually, no. Yeah, this is fine. I would say... right now, this is roughly what you're seeing on this meta right now. Camille might even be worth an A upgrade. But if just like, and I'm going to try to go through each lane briefly. But if I had to, yeah, Malphite would show up somewhere between like A and B. Yeah, I think. And guys, this isn't going to include every champion, okay? I just want you to understand what I'm thinking in terms of like what types of champions are strong and what types of champions are weak and why. Champion like Pantheon, snowballs incredibly hard in solo queue and can transition that lead elsewhere. Champion like Teemo might be able to bully a lane, but he's stuck top. He's stuck top. And versus a competent player, they're just going to sit top together. And Teemo's going to get ganked a lot. Champions like Maokai, Cho'Gath, Shen, they're safe picks. They're safe picks, right? They're safe, as in pretty much can play into any lane and survive and play with the team. However, weak lanes, you're not going to get much value playing against weak lanes unless you're an absolute animal at the champion. Think of the guy who sent me a bunch of Shen replays. The B, yeah, they're decent top laners. Yes, if you're great at them, they can be viable for you. Yeah, you can beat some of the top pick stuff. But at the end of the day, they're not as strong as they normally are. They're weaker than usual, so it makes champions like this really obnoxious. Because, and the other thing you need to remember is games are shorter. So the shit where like Aurelia and Jax and Tryndamere get to drag out games is a lot harder when they can't win lanes as easy as they used to. You understand? So that's my read on it. Let's talk. And obviously, all sorts of stuff could be in here. You know, I'd put Sin somewhere between A and B. I'd put Talon up there between like A and S. With Ignite, I think that plays pretty well right now. Probably A more than S. I don't know. What I'm saying is, look to bully your lanes. Don't play. You can play tanks, but you're flipping, and only play the B tier stuff if you're a fucking animal on them. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. So let's move on because I can't linger on this shit forever. So, oh, I don't know why I put top. S. So jungle, I've been experimenting with jungle a little bit. I'm not a jungle main or anything, but my thing is right now, very similar story. Yeah, I put Zinzao up here like right away. I agree with Tarzan on this. I think that there's some definite strength in this champion at the moment. Where it's like, I've experimented with him myself just yesterday, and he seemed like his clears are really easy, and just fucking with him, I seem to, I bomb like mid game all the time in the jungle right now because I'm just not very good at it, but I would pretty much always get ahead when I played Zinzao. I would always, like, the skirmishes, 2v2s, the 1v1s, felt like they were just going my way. Even though I'm retarded at Zinzao, I've never even played him. And I was doing fine from jungle with them. And it was like, wow, if I'm fed on Zinzao, it's like 10 times easier than fed on any other champion. So, I don't really have an argument against Zinzao at all. The next champion I put up there, I put Kha'Zix up there. I really like Kha'Zix. He's sort of weak-ish on his first clear, but that's not a big deal because, let's face it, it's solo queue and he snowballs. And by weakish, I mean he can be poked at sometimes early game. He can fuck up pretty easily early game, but if you get through his clears, then he's pretty easy. He also does 1 million damage with Electrocute. Jarvan is the other one that I would put up here. Jarvan's busted right now with Electrocute. That's the main thing. Yeah, you can build him tank, but that's not really where you're going to get the most value out of him. You're going to get the most value out of Jarvan from just building fucking damage and shitting on people. If you fall behind, obviously consider tank, but I just feel like his combo is obnoxious. Where it's literally like EQ, ult, and people just go away. It just looks really stupid, and it's kind of in the same school of thought as the Kha'Zix stuff. But yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like if I had to pick junglers to contest every game, it would look like this. It would literally be these three is what I would do every game. Really like these picks. So yeah, we can just stop there for now. Now, I'm trying to think of what I really like for putting A tier. I like Shyvana, but I don't like Shyvana enough. By the way, guys, the picks that I'm working on here are more picks that I've seen more often in higher elo. I haven't really experienced Kindred crushing. I saw the guy who had like a crazy win rate on Kindred, but I haven't really seen it like destroying games. So I can't tell if that guy alone has found some sort of formula for Kindred to like shit on people. But yeah, I just haven't seen it, so I don't feel comfortable being like, yes. What I do feel comfortable with is looking at Shyvana and going, yes, strong pick. Not the type of pick that I would want in solo queue. But strong, stable pick where she can just farm up, get big, and you've won. If your team hasn't fed, it's kind of in the same... basically, when I put things in the S tier, in my S tier, is I'm picking things that I think have a lot of agency on whether you win or lose. If you have the say in the majority of circumstances, and whether you win or lose, if with practice, with skill, you can control the outcome of the game, Shyvana's good. Elise is another one that I would put up there as pretty decent, right? I would put Vi up there, pretty decent. Problems with some of these champions, I just don't quite feel like they are quite as good as the S tier. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have Elise power farming or anything, just like you're not going to have Vi necessarily just power farming. But what I'm saying is, in terms of reliability in a lot of different circumstances, I don't think that they're quite like S tier picks yet. My logic with Udyr is I think he's strong, but he's still Udyr. He still has to be... he still has to get to people to carry the game. I don't think that he's like auto-lock broken at all. I think that Thunderlords or Electrocute is pretty fucking busted on these other champions, and that's where I'm at. And then, yeah, if I had to put... If I had to make a call, I would say... And by the way, guys, again, we're not going to put every fucking champion possible in these lists. It's just, it would be mind-numbing. I mean, I think Rengar would fall somewhere between, like, A and S. But I'm just trying to paint you guys a picture of what I see. Because these things change, man. Like, they change really fucking fast. In a week or so, Press the Attack might be just completely broken, and the whole fucking list is screwed. So there's no point in getting super hung up on every fucking champion, okay? Just to give you guys some ideas of what looks and feels strong right now. And then for B tier, I would say stuff like Sejuani. I have seen Sejuani crush games. I have seen Lee Sin do okay, but I don't think I would put him that high. I think he kind of suffers from... the old syndrome where it's like, yes, if you are a god at Lee Sin with Electrocute, yes, you can crush. But he's still Lee Sin. He's still Lee Sin. So what's going to happen is, even if you get fed on, if you get fed on Lee Sin, well, PTA is not really working well for fighters in general, dude. So, like, I mean, unless they have something to help fighters out, I don't know how you think that I'm wrong in terms of, like, the main threats in this patch right now are Electrocute, Airy sometimes, and then Aftershock are the ones that I think. But yeah, Press the Attack is not like some... if it's busted, it's only busted in a couple of edge cases, but a lot of the other tanks, or not tanks, a lot of the fighters aren't really seeing play. And a lot of the people that play fighters are like, you got Hashinshin crying. He's now taken his chat spam to YouTube. He's crying so much. Now he's inting on YouTube. He's like crying on YouTube. Rammus is good. I like Rammus. In fact, I'm probably underrating Rammus a little bit here. I think that, yeah, I think I'm definitely underrating Rammus a little bit. Rammus would probably be A before he beat B. At least A. Might even be S, but I don't know. I feel like he's a little weak early. Yeah, I'd put something like Kane in B right now. I don't think Kane's that great. I think he gets one shot too often in this meta. That's literally how I feel with him. I think that he's probably good if he's not getting one shot, but he's gonna be getting one shot a lot. So are a lot of these champions, which is why I put him there. Actually, I would change one thing. I'm gonna bump Elise down a little bit. I'm gonna bump Elise down. Should I bump Elise or Vi? Yeah, I should bump. Yeah, I would rather bump Elise down than Vi, to be honest. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I feel comfortable with that. I'd put Hecarim here. These champions like Shyvana Hecarim kind of do the AFK farm thing in 1v9, which is cool. But it's very, you know, they can get invaded, they can get pushed out. Thanks, Chi-Wench. I feel like in general, I don't know. The more I look at this list, the more I think I'm fucked up. I think I would rather even move Sejuani up than Vi. This is hard. This is hard with making tier list right here. I would rather have Sejuani higher than Vi. Sejuani actually like crushes. Yeah, I don't think Sejuani is like S tier, but I think she's higher than I'm giving credit. The more I really sit down and think about it. I think for the first time in a while in solo queue. Well, across the board, I don't think Lee and Elise are that good, and that's a big thing to say. That's a big thing to say. You know, a good Lee Sin will obviously bully off these picks, but in terms of impact in solo queue and in terms of how the flow of solo queue goes, it goes back and forth. You get 6 kills on Lee Sin, but then the game keeps going because your teammates are retards, and then Hecarim clicks on you. So yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like exactly. I mean, there's some other picks that you can throw in here. You could have stuff like potentially. You could have cheese picks like Twitch Jungle. You could even have picks like Tristana showing up. Ezreal's broken and like everything, but he's not going to stay that way. That's why I don't want to hype on him too much. Because there's no way that Ezreal stays this way for long. There's no way. He's like a permaban. And he's good in everything. You can play him top. It doesn't fucking matter. It's stupid. Klepto Ezreal's dumb. But like I don't see him staying that way, so I don't really want to harp on that. Because he's like, I don't know. He's just obviously oppressive right now. Yeah. That was obvious. So, yeah, this is how I feel. Champions that are that are good all around, good early game, good mid game, really good mid game. Make good use of electrocute. Those are your S tier for me, from what I've seen. For A tier, champions that are pretty solid all around, may not have the crazy electrocute burst that's meta at the moment, but can get into some crazy scenarios, especially Hecarim and Shyvana. Rammus and Sejuani also do it. And Udyr's just stable, but just not as good as the top three here. And then here at the bottom, champions that, for whatever reason, they're not as good at just early game or mid game power spikes, or they're not as good at late game. Twitch can carry games in some ways, but he'll get run over by these picks later for sure, because you won't have anything to deal, like Twitch won't be able to deal with these picks later in the game. So I don't know. Also in the early game, might not be able to clear, but again, good solo queue pick. And this is kind of where I'm feeling. If your champion doesn't show up on the list, it doesn't mean it's bad. I just don't have any comment on something like Kindred. I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about with Kindred. I feel like she's probably strong. I personally think that jungle mains are probably underrating her, because anytime I see somebody with like a 90% win rate on a champion, I'm like, that's broken. I just don't know how to explain why it's broken. Is literally where I'm at. I just don't know. I would feel like Kindred would be a champion that would be super exploitable early. It'd be easy to fuck up. Wouldn't have much impact early in skirmishes like 2v2s. Is the late game just that busted? I have no fucking clue. Evelyn seems strong, but people started figuring out the meta. If I put her somewhere, I'd put her B tier right now. She's annoying to play against, but she's only annoying to play against because people don't know how to play jungle. Once people know how to play into Evelyn, she won't be as crazy. At least that's my opinion. I think she abuses solo queue just as good, if not better than Twitch, though. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Okay? Jace jungle is something I play. Yeah, I would put it A and S, to be honest. But again, I can't cover it all. It'll take all fucking day. Okay, so my read on mid right now is something like this. I would actually change a lot of my picks. I really like LeBlanc. I think she's absolutely ridiculous. I think Katarina is absolutely ridiculous. I think Malzahar is ridiculous. I think this is kind of tough. There's a lot of good picks for a lot of different reasons. I think that I think I like Talon more than I like Zed, because I think Talon has an easier time executing than Zed does, and I think just for like general population, I would rate Zed to B. I would put Kassadin to B. Xerath? For solo, again, we're getting into this convo about competitive versus solo queue. He might be justifiably, you might be able to justify Xerath to me in S tier. No, because he would get eaten alive by these other picks if they're played right. Right? He would get eaten alive by LeBlanc, he'd get eaten alive by Katarina and Talon if played right. He won't be able to leave his tower, and he'll get one shot a lot in solo queue. Yeah, I don't think I would put Xerath that high. I know that he was played in the Tyler 1 shit, but he was played in competitive, again, which is a different beast entirely. Now, for the record, I'm putting Talon here, or I'm putting Kassadin and Zed here in B tier. Kassadin plays incredibly well into these two picks, actually. But it's weird because Kassadin also feels like dog shit. Like, I would legitimately put Jace here before... Yeah, I would put Jace up here, and I would put, like, Zed, Kassadin, Xerath right here. And the reason why is because... And to take it a step further, I would even place Ryze here. And then I would just backlog everything else. I would put like every other champion below. Maybe Ryze could be a little Not like no one's really that great at Ryze, but it's one of those. He's gonna be one of those things where once he's played right, he's like fucking dumb. Vladimir's fine in B. I think Vladimir kind of suffers from AFK syndrome, where it's hard to move him around. But yeah, if he gets going, he's great. But I don't think I'd put him in S. For A, I would put like Lux. Vel'Koz. Rit16, thank you. Twisted Fate. You guys may think I'm crazy putting Twisted Fate this low, but I've played Twisted Fate, and I don't like him at all. Like, legitimately, I don't like him where he's at all. I think he's garbage right now. Like, I straight up, I don't like him. I tried. I don't like him. It's too fucking easy to fuck up. People are hyping up Corki. I don't really know, to be honest. Oh, wait. I'm retarded, sorry. There we go. My bad. You drunk, homie. I'll comment on Zoe because I've seen it played so much. I would say Zoe's here. Zoe's here, or if not here, she's a B. I don't think she's too ridiculous. Cassindian, thanks for the 11 months in a row. I would put something like Annie down here. I don't think she's amazing. I'm trying to think of any champions that are like sticking out in my head. I would put Victor lower than usual. And let me comment on Victor. The reason why I don't like Victor right now, normally Victor plays pretty well, just like in most all circumstances, but right now Burst is a problem, just like it's a problem for Twisted Fate. Just Victor wants to scale, and right now it's fucking hard to scale. It's hard to be safe in lane. Like, legitimately, I feel like when I play Twisted Fate, everything kills me. Everything just fucking kills me. Syndra's probably somewhere in fucking A. And again, I might be overrating Ryze a little bit, but I've just seen a lot of Ryze, and it feels like he's pretty good. It feels like he's a sleeper. Like, you can't fight the motherfucker. That's why I'm putting him so high. It's like, none of these champions can fucking fight him. Maybe Malzahar. And that's what annoys me about him, is you can't seem to get rid of him. That's why I'm rating him high. It's like, I have a problem with that, where it's like, when you see, like, basically when I see a random champion in the map, I see Ryze, if Ryze is fed, I'm like, you can't fight him at all. He just pops a million fucking point shield and, like, just runs you down, and it's really obnoxious, and I just feel like once people learn how to lane with him, he's good, dude. He's real good. So much burst and mobility. Yeah, you might be right. I might be overrating Syndra. She's just been a staple for so long on the mid tier list that it's like, I know that she plays well into shit like LeBlanc and Katarina. Does she play that well into Jace and Talon? Probably not. Does she play that well into Xerath? Maybe. Yeah, I might be overrating her a bit. Orianna I'd put somewhere down here for the reasons of she gets bullied a lot. But yeah, right now, I think mid is the one that could be the weirdest to scale because a bit like the S and A tier, the lines are blurred pretty hard because I don't pretend to know every single fucking matchup where it's like the assassins versus certain assassins get really iffy. Maybe Ryze, maybe I'm overvaluing Ryze because if played properly, Ryze's lane is super weak. I know stuff like I know from my experiences right now that Kassadin and TF fucking suck more than usual to me. I could pick Kassadin into every matchup last season. This season, I don't like it because I feel like I used to be able to lane against the Zed. I used to be able to lane against the Talon and never die. I feel like right now, I would literally just die in those lanes. Like they'll just kill me. Jace will just kill me. And same with like Twisted Fate. Those are my two staples because I do a lot of dopa copying in mid. And like, I've literally had kids play shit like f***ing Zyra. It just happened this morning. Fucking Nightblue had to carry me because I faced like a Zyra mid. There's a fucking challenger support main just went Zyra mid with Aerie, and like I just fucking died. Before I could even get my heal off, died. And I'm like, that's more damage than usual? Fuck that. So I just feel like they might be playable, but are they just... can you just lock them into every lane and have, like, good control of the lane? I don't think so, dude. Plus, the other thing with this list, the other thing you gotta understand is this list is accounting for jungle influence as well. Like, if the jungler shows up, how do your champions hold up? How does TF hold up against a Fed Kha'Zix coming out of the weeds? He does not hold up at all, by the way, at all. It literally, it ends like this. It ends with you getting a Q in the face and you dying. Just like all these champions, when Kha'Zix runs out of the weeds, you get the Q. Can you survive the Q? Xerath might be able to survive the Q because he's way in the fucking back, safe and sound. Kassadin can R away. Syndra can stun really quickly. Vladimir, Pool. Zoe, I don't know. But, like, you see what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. Like, can we survive the Jarvan that comes out of the weeds with 10 kills? Can we do it? Because if we can't, they're not going above B. That's how I feel. Because that's how the game's going to play. Game is hard. So, yeah. I rate Jace highly because Jace is broken. I'll pick Jace anytime he's unbanned right now. Because he's broken. Hey, he's just top lane, taking Knight, freeze the lane towards the back of the lane, wait for an all-in spot, all in. Same with mid. Chill, slow play, save your EQ. Motherfuckers come and aggress you, literally just combo and ignite them. And they're dead. They're gone. You don't got a problem anymore, dude. So, yeah, that's why I rate Jace pretty high. It's very similar to Talon and LeBlanc. Dopa spamming Orianna. I mean, people have told me that I underrate Orianna and that I should play her more. I think I know his Smurf account. Thanks, Downey Dave. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, he's playing a lot of Ori, but he's also playing in Korean Platinum right now, which, let's face it, I had a 90% win rate in Korea Platinum. I'm not even kidding. It's not even a joke. The stream was here. They saw it. Game will get a little different for him when he goes higher up, I think. So, I don't know. I don't think he'll be... I really don't. I'd be surprised if he's playing that champion or squishy champions. I don't get why you wouldn't play some shit like Zed every game in this type of meta. But I'm not in Korea right now, so who the fuck knows? So yeah, this is roughly what I'm thinking about mid. I just feel like these champions here play really well into lane dominance, mid-game. Maybe I'm overrating Rise. Maybe somebody can yell at me and say put him down between the two. I don't fucking know. Or put him in A, or maybe even B. I don't know. But again, I'm kind of putting it on like, can anybody fight him later in the game? Because I don't think people can. Like, legitimately. I'd probably put Anivia in like B or A tier. People that were asking, but yeah. Azir, I would probably rate it A. I'd probably rate Azir at A because he can get swagged on by these champions here. Maybe he plays good in a couple matchups, but I can't see Azir beating LeBlanc. I can't see Azir beating Jace if played right. Maybe he could beat Katarina. Maybe he can bully Talon. Maybe he deserves a higher spot than Rise. Meh, I don't know. I think about it, analyze it, but that's where I'm at right now mentally. So, sorry, ADC. AKA Marksman. Guys, I can't cover every single champ. I already told you. Relax. There's a lot of champs in League. I can't cover them all. Use the baseline to come up with your own conclusions. So, So, I'm going to put Ezreal here for now. I've ignored him on the other roles, mainly because I haven't seen him very often in the other roles. Enigma, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Although he has showed up in mid with the Klepto shit, and he has showed up in jungle, but not so much jungle right now. And I think that's because of what we talked about, where champions like Kha'Zix just eat him later in the game, maybe. Or maybe like Jarvan just plays really well into him. I'm not sure. But I haven't seen much of him. I would put Ezreal here because of Klepto abuse, primarily. I would also go ahead and put MF because she's absolutely ridiculous in lane, and meta is actually pretty nice for Misfortune. It's like, go into lane, harass the shit out of your laner, kill them, fuck the bitches. Now this gets a little hard for me because I'm not sure who trumps what. And by that I mean, I'm not sure if Draven plays into these two at all. I'm trying to come up with champions that just play well into this first. I think Draven would play well into Ezreal. No, he doesn't play well in any of these. Even lane, they have the edge because they get so much free money. Well, Ezreal gets free money. And Misfortune kills everybody. So I'm gonna think. I think we're gonna start here, and then I'm gonna try to talk my way into this. I think I'd put Twitch here. I think I would put Twitch here. Honestly, I would put Twitch higher. I would. Fuck it. I would. I don't care what anybody says. Twitch is bullshit. Twitch is a bullshit champ. I would put him in solo queue. I would still put him here. And maybe I'm biased, but if he's in the game and these motherfuckers don't kill him. What's an Echo main? Thanks for the sub. But even if these guys are in the game, if Twitch somehow survives, he always wins. I feel like he always wins later in the game. If the game just goes on just a little too long, he always wins. And that's how I feel. It's such a time bomb. And I just, time and time, I've been on the receiving end, I've been on the positive end, I've been on the end where it's like, wow, I'm losing. Hogman, thank you. I just feel like I've been on both sides of that coin where Twitch has lost lane, but then I'm like, we're still gonna win potentially. You know? And I like him for solo queue. Now, the next I would put Tristana here for sure. I would definitely put Tristana here. Really like Tristana. I know for a fact that I should put Caitlyn here because I've tried to play Caitlyn and it feels like ass. I would also put Zaya here. And some of you hardcore AD elitists would tell me that I'm overrating Twitch, but that's how I feel in solo queue, is if there's Twitch on the other team, the game's a ticking time bomb until you just lose because someone wasn't paying attention. I think it's stupid. So yeah. Lucian, that's a good one. Lucian actually seems like a decent pick. I think he plays pretty well with the all-in lanes, because I'm gonna get to this, but a lot of the bullshit, the Leona Blitzcrank, in a world where Leona Blitzcrank and Alistar seem strong to me, Lucian plays pretty well. And yep, I would put Varus there, and then I don't think I put Vayne any higher than B if I had to pick. And I would never put Sivir any higher than B. And yeah, I think Jhin is actually weak. I think Jhin is weak because I'm going to tell you why I think Jhin is weak. Because I did that stupid, remember that set I did with Aben? And we were winning like every lane. You remember that? We were winning like every fucking lane. And we would lose. I was doing Xerath support with Jhin ADC, and we would lose. We could not win games with it. Even if we were ahead. It was like the game was still up in the air. So, I don't like Jhin. I like Jhin for his laning, but I don't like the type of... I don't like what he does as the game goes on, Jhin in general. I don't like what he does. He doesn't quite seem to have the capability. Also, remember what we talked about? Jhin is the type of champion that kind of has to put himself into harm's way a lot to single target burst people. And so he's really susceptible to getting one shot a lot too. He does have some decent utility with his ult, but I would put him below these other picks, and I would even go as far as to say something like Kalista is higher than Jhin right now. I think Jhin is in the bottom. I would put Ashe in B, and I would put Kog'Maw in A. And this is roughly how I would feel about a tier list. I think that most stuff, if I missed it, I think it would go below. Yeah, Jinx would be below. There's not a lot of ADCs, are there? Like really good ADCs. Huh. Oh, Draven? Yeah, Draven's actually kind of weak. But I don't know if I would put... Yeah, I would actually put Draven higher than those, though. If I had to put Draven somewhere. This is like... I don't think Draven's in a good spot right now. He really doesn't seem that great. Josh Bag, thanks for 4 months. Is he ridiculous like he was last season? Nah. He seems weak. About time, though, to be honest. Because he's been strong for a while. And this is roughly where I'm at with AD. As I feel like Ezreal Misfortune and Twitch, but keep in mind that Twitch loses to Ezreal Misfortune pretty hard. However, Twitch will come back. Twitch needs to be nerfed. Like, he needs to go away. The champion is single-handedly responsible for so many shitheads being high elo that shouldn't be there. Like, that champion is so dumb. Players that, like, feed lanes constantly, like, constant bullshit wins with Twitch. Just bullshit wins. Or even Twitch jungle. Like, legitimately. I feel like people always underrate him. I don't know why. I just think he's so broken, so stupid. All right, now you guys can yell at me on this, but this is how I feel with support right now. Okay, and I am basing all these tier lists. I don't really give a fuck about anybody else's tier list. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I don't think I've ever seen a meta where fucking Leona is going on my S. I was gonna play her yesterday because what happened, I was playing with, I think it was with Fogged, and it was that stupid TF Blade shit where we had TF Blade top and I was playing mid or something, or jungle or whatever. And I had a Leona who was like 1-9. The kid sucked. And we still lost this game. But he was literally like tanking the room. Like he was out of position tanking the enemy team for God knows how long. It looked like a fed Maokai or something was just like walking around. So I immediately I was like, I'm playing Leona. Every time if you can be that bad and still you can tank the whole team, that's broken. I'm sorry. If you can be that out of position and still tank the whole team, that's wrong. Like, I know what I saw. I don't give a fuck what you guys said. Aftershock, these fucking tanky supports are out of control right now. And Blitzcrank as well. They're just ridiculous. Like, I think they're all good picks. For once, I think they're good picks. Now, oh yeah, Nautilus actually might be good too. People might, I've seen him show up a couple times, and it looks like he could be decent too. He might be like an A tier though. Nautilus is not as good. Yeah. So right away, this is how I feel. I have some other thoughts too, and again, people have their own opinions on these. I don't really know for sure how to stack these, how to order these, but based on what I've been seeing, Janna is dumb. I think Janna is really dumb. And the reason I say that is because for some reason Janna is like running around at Mach 10, but she's actually like dealing damage too for some reason. Yeah, I think that's the one. It's some weird. I haven't even played it. I don't even know what's going on. But Janna is literally running around the map, chunking me, and I've seen it time and time again to the point of where it feels like it's a little ridiculous. And the only thing really keeping it in line are probably these hard engaged champs. So, I don't know what's going on, but it's fucking annoying, okay? I would put... If I'm gonna start putting second tier. I would start with Karma. I see Karma played a lot, seems decent. I see Lulu played a lot, seems decent. Again, these are the things that seem to be dominating. Sona for sure. I like Soraka for sure. I like Bard here. You know, the saddest thing is I thought for sure. I might put Zyra in there, yeah, after seeing Zyra with Aerie. I haven't seen much of it, but yeah, I think Zyra's good. I thought for sure that... oh, Thresh, yeah. And I'm actually going to be putting my... I'm going to start putting my... I'm just going to do this right now. I was like so hyped for like poke supports. And having those like super range supports play. I would put Morgana at B. But the more I played them, like I'm really good at this style of support. I'm really good at those, and I play them now. I play them with more vision control in mind and everything, and I just don't like them. I don't think. I don't think. Should Thresh be? Maybe Thresh could be S or A. I don't know. I think Nautilus would be here. I think Rakan would be here. But here's the thing with these. They get engaged on. That's it. They get engaged on really hard, and they get out-poked right now really hard because, like, for example, Brand. Yeah, Brand would probably be a little higher, too. Like, if any of these guys land poke on you, you've lost. If any of the guys land and engage, you've lost. So, yeah. The way I view the support role right now is you have these, like, super tanky fucking Aftershock users. You have some other stuff. I mean, you could even put Tom in here. And again, I might be a little off. I mean, Thresh might be able to go a tier higher. Tom might be able to go a tier higher. Braum could be here, I think. Braum's always had a historically weak lane phase. Nautilus might be able to go a little bit higher. I don't know. But I would definitely agree with Nanami being at B. I would definitely agree with Tariq being A more than B. So, yeah. It would be something like this. I just don't know who to bump to S, because there's a lot of stuff in here, and I'm sure there's something that I'm missing. Maybe Thresh goes up there, because he's decent. I don't know if he takes Aftershock, though. Sion would be more of a top laner than a support, in my opinion. Although you could, yeah, in the same mindset that I had in the other tier list, it's like, if I am not this, I'm literally going line by line on the roles today. So I'm not going to cover every fucking possibility, every champion, everything that can show up. But I want you guys to have this as sort of a guideline where it's like, okay, he's saying that these are broken because of X, Y, and Z. If it turns out that, like Zerab says, like Shen. If it turns out that Shen is actually pretty decent with Aftershock or something, I don't fucking know, just for purposes of discussion, by all means. Yeah, I'd put Rakan higher than the B tier. I don't know if I'd put him in S, just because I don't think he tanks as hard.
Is that a 20?
All right, buddy. Dagan, thank you.
Hey, NEACE. I am a Gold 5 support I remain who was as low as Bronze 5 at the beginning of my first ranked season this past
Noob.
season.
Okay.
I would like coaching on ADC from my alternate account that is currently Silver 4. Main, Daggun alternate. Do not nerf me.
Do not nerf me, he said. Sweet. Yeah, this will be on YouTube. And this is like a double advertising for the coaching that opened back up and a tier list. Right now, I feel like the whole meta is about ending game, winning the lane phase, ending games as quickly as possible. Because burst doesn't seem to fall off that hard. So even if the game drags out, Jace will still hit you for 1,000,000 damage. Jarvan will still hit you for 1,000,000 damage. Leona will still be tanky. Katarina will deal 1,000,000 damage to you. The tank, or what was I getting at before? The Teemo will still be annoying. Or maybe they play like a tank top for the carry jungler or whatever. And that guy's like super tanky, but what it really boils down to is people will play to win the lane, and once they've won the lane, they are going to one-shot you all game. It's really fucking obnoxious, but that is the patch. Okay? Reasons, and to summarize the bot lane experience, what do Misfortune and Ezreal do right now? They crush the lane. And guess what? Ezreal has a really strong power spike mid-game. Misfortune, really strong mid-game power spike. Twitch, really strong mid and late game. Twitch rotates to a siege, wipes your team, and now your whole team's getting one shot all game. That is kind of the ebb and flow of the game. It's about winning lanes quickly, efficiently, knocking down towers quickly, efficiently, and if the game drags on, you're still getting one shot. Not like before. Before it'd be like, let me give you an example. Before last season, I could go, I'm picking TF every game. That was me last season for the LAN Challenger climb. I'm picking Twisted Fate. Why am I picking Twisted Fate? There's assassins, but they're not that strong. Wave clear's alright. We can hold the game up for a while. We can chill out. I can just ult down the bot lane when I get the chance, and, if the game drags out, if an ADC gets fed, it's no big deal. I'll wave clear, maybe hit a stun card, and then I win. Now it's like, if I pick TF, motherfucking Jarvan comes out of the weeds and literally one-shots me for trying to hide under my tower. Hecarim will run, fucking fed Hecarim for some reason, runs behind my tower and one-shots me. Yeah, we've got all this shit, like Zonias and all that, that you might be able to outplay people with. But at the end of the day, there's no more turtling and slow play in the game. There's no more like, I can pick anything into bursty champs and survive. It's like, now you will get blown up for picking some weak shit. You will get blown up for trying to hide behind your tower. You can still do it, but people will get rewarded more often for taking risks. Okay? So that's what this boils down to me. That's my tier list summary based on the game as it stands right now. And we'll have a tier list. You can have, you guys can go in the comments and tell me how wrong I am. But I've been doing a lot of spamming myself, trying to figure it out, and I think I have a pretty good handle on what the fuck's happening here.